We are live. We are live. This is the H-Town Vet, and we would like to welcome you to our live stream. As you come into the room, let us know that you're here. As I said, this is the H-Town Vet, and we would like to welcome you to this live stream. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. We're going to be talking about fiduciary responsibilities. If the VA puts somebody over your money by declaring you to be incompetent, or other ways that could happen. Tonight, we're going to talk about it. As you come into the room, let us know that you're here. Okay, Charles Newsom. Hi there. Okay, Charles Newsom. I don't know if this is the first time you come to our channel, but we like to welcome you here. We like to put out good information telling you about the benefits that's available to you as a veteran and dependents also, surviving spouses and children, even dependent parents. So we're glad that you're here. If you don't mind, if you're new to the channel, Mr. Charles, could you tell us, Ms. Newsom, could you tell us let us know your branch of service and the state or country you're living in. If you're new to the channel, let everybody, if you don't mind people getting familiar with who you are, let us know your branch of service, state or country that you're currently living in. And we're going to get ready to get started because everybody's getting into the room and we've reached critical mass. Okay, look here. I'm going to call you AZ, brother. AZ is always here, giving the encouragement. Army, Mississippi. We're going to get ready to get started here. Now, today we're talking about VA Fiduciary Program. This is a live stream, and we're going to break it down in detail. So you're going to see a lot of money symbols tonight. Well, you might say to yourself, well, that doesn't apply to me because I'm not incompetent. Well, none of us will know what the future have in store for us. We could be in a car accident. We could be hospitalized. We can be in several different situations where the VA might put us under their fiduciary program. Now, has anybody ever been under a fiduciary program here? Let us know. Now let us continue. The fiduciary program with the VA, now they call it's the Veterans Benefit Administration, often known as the VA. Let us continue. Okay, we're going to be covering several topics or areas. We've broken it down into sections. We're dealing with the VA Fiduciary Program. We're going to have our introduction and overview. We're going to define what a fiduciary is, what a beneficiary is. We're going to talk about the duties of a fiduciary. We're going to talk about the interview process. We're going to talk about fiduciaries and fraud. And then we're going to give you the contact information that you need in case you know someone in your family that needs this program, or it may be something that you're dealing with. You've gotten an award letter that says that you've been declared incompetent, and you might even got a letter saying that proposing to put a fiduciary over your funds. We're going to break down all things you need to do to protect yourself tonight. Now let us continue. First is the introduction. Now we're going to go over a few things to just get you familiar with what a fiduciary program is with the VA, what it is. The main thing, can you manage your money? Whenever you go to a CMP exam, especially for mental health, they have a section at the end of the DBQ, Disability Benefits Questionnaire. We talked about that in the last live stream, that asks, can the veteran handle their finances? The doctor is either going to check no, or the doctor's going to check yes. Let's see who we got here. Okay, we got Mr. International. We want to thank you, Mr. International, for the donations. And we appreciate the support and the information that you give us, because all of you have been very supportive and we appreciate you. Mr. Newsom, you come to the right place, because we have a team here of veterans that are very knowledgeable and motivated. That's what we're talking about. Can you handle your money? Now, just because you don't get this request on a DBQ, or that's turned into the VA, it could be either a DBQ that the VA send you to a CMP exam and a doctor find that you can't handle your money and declare you incompetent to handle your financial dealings, or you might go to a public DBQ that you get off the internet, you print a copy off, and you go to a private doctor to handle. Either way, they have to answer the question, especially if we're dealing with mental health. Now, let us continue. Now, if you're anything like myself, I like to handle my own money. Yes, I have a mental health condition, post-traumatic stress disorder. The H-Town vet does, but I don't want nobody touching my money. Now, sometimes people don't have a choice, but I be mean dogging when it comes to my funds. Now, some people are just irresponsible with money, or they spend it as they see fit. They say they only live once, right? So who handles fiduciary responsibilities? What government body covers this? That would be the Veterans Benefit Administration, what we currently call the VA, or the VA Regional Office. Now, as we discussed in past videos, there's actually three parts to the VA. You have the Veterans Benefit Administration, that dealing with disability claims or other claims that you get through the VA, like adding dependents, housing grants, and things like that. Then you have the Veterans Healthcare Administration, which is the VHB, and you have the National Cemetery Administration. All three of these makes up the VA. Now let us continue. Now let's talk about this fiduciary program. The purpose of the VA's fiduciary program, that's what we're going to talk about first. Why do they have this program? What is its purpose? They make it real clear. It's two parts to it. To ensure, when it comes to the fiduciary program, two goals: to ensure VA benefits payments made to a fiduciary on behalf of a beneficiary are used for the well-being of the beneficiary and the beneficiary's dependents. Then, the second goal, to protect veterans and beneficiaries who are unable to manage their own financial affairs. All right, let us continue. All of us have a budget, or I would hope we would. If you're gonna manage your money, you don't want to get caught up in financial binds. We set up a budget with our income, savings, and expenses. Sometimes it's hard to keep savings given this economy right now. Now, under most cases, when a veteran gets VA disability compensation, they handle their own finances. All right, it's no problem. You might have little disagreements between you and your spouse. It might be somebody overcharge on the credit card or buy too much. You know how it goes. But that don't mean you're incompetent. Now, the second part we're going to deal with is defining the terms of what a fiduciary is, what a beneficiary is, and more. We're going to define them. That's number two. First thing, like as we said, when it comes to veterans, most of them handle their own VA compensation check. Now, fiduciary. A fiduciary is a person or entity appointed by the VAB to receive VA benefits on behalf of beneficiary and beneficiary's dependents, then use those funds in the best interest of the beneficiary. And we're going to explain who the beneficiary is. It's usually the veteran or the veteran's dependents. And it doesn't just cover the money, and we're going to talk about that. It also covered other benefits. But one of the main things that's covered is the financial compensation. Let us continue. Let me know if y'all can hear me good. Okay, hold on. Let me go back a little bit. Now, basically, what's going on here is that somebody else is handling the veteran's money. It could be a spouse handling your money. You might make them your fiduciary, a family member, blood related person, or you might have an agency or a lawyer act as your fiduciary, or the VA may appoint someone to be your fiduciary. Now, then the court may appoint a fiduciary. See, a lot of people don't realize that when it comes down to it, the court could appoint someone as your fiduciary outside of the VA. And the VA will, if they get the court order, they will follow it. Now, a veteran that's put in a nursing home, the nursing home might become their fiduciary. That's a person that's managing their funds or agency. Now, what people try to do, they try to get slick with it. And people are actually try to say, well, you know what? I see the VA is proposing to declare me incompetent and put a fiduciary over my money. So what I'm going to do is go get a power of attorney on my own. And that's what I'm saying. Oh, I got this person handling. No, when it comes to your VA funds, a power of attorney that you do on your own will not override a VA putting a fiduciary over your funds. So you need to know that. Now, here we go. The beneficiary. So we defined the fiduciary. Now we're going to talk about who the beneficiary is. These are the person that are receiving the funds or benefits. Veteran dependents that receive VA benefits and has a medically diagnosed cognitive impairment or is under the age, underage, that can't manage their own finances. And we're going to break all of this down. If you're in a coma or you are some way incapacitated where you can handle your funds, that's one way that they'll have a fiduciary and you'll be a beneficiary. If you are hospitalized in a psychiatric hospital Uh-oh, Mo B's in the house. I'm trying to remain professional. My OB is in the house. My OB is in the house. Brother, we see you. Glad to have you here. Let me see this here. He says hi. Glad to see y'all here. My regulars getting in here. And we thank God for all the new people that's joining us. We're going to slow walk this thing. Now, let us continue. If all of us are going to get older, so we may get where we can't handle our finances. That's another way to do it. Here we go. We got our brother John in the house. H-Town Vet and everyone say hello. And H-Town Vet, we glad to have you here. My regulars coming in, and we appreciate you for being here. We're talking about what we talked about the other day about fiduciary. As you come in the room, let us know you're here. Please let us know who you are. Say hello to us, because this is an interactive thing. This is not, we're not just me talk. It's not just me talking. It's us. We're coming up with this information together. I don't know why some, hold on. I do apologize. I thought I had my phone on. Now, okay. So all of us are going to get age one day. Okay, we got a new look. We got Major Boomer in here. Let us know your branch of service in the country or state you're currently living in, or if you're dependent, let us know. Or you just have a family member that was in the military, let us know that. Howdy. Glad to see you, Major Boomer. Let us know where you're from. So we're talking about this program. Now let us continue. If you get old where you can't take care of yourself, as we said earlier, if the person is underage and they can't manage their benefits, a fiduciary will be needed also. Now, because when a person young, you don't want to have too much money in their hands. If there's some kind of mental health. Now, this is where I want y'all to really pay attention, because when they're filling out, when you have a doctor filling out these DBQs, disability benefits questionnaires for your disability, if it's a mental health rating, they're going to have to answer the box whether you can handle your finances or not. Okay, so I'm going to come on the screen for a minute to let you know here I am the H-Town Vet, and we'd like to welcome you to this broadcast. All right, we're glad that you're here. And let me get up a little bigger so you can see me. Yes, indeed. Come on into the room, because we're going to be slow walking this thing. We're going to break this down. We're going to talk about a new topic every night until I kick over and die. We're going to learn something new every time we talk about these things, because that's the problem. We realize we sit around and we often just wait for something to happen to us. No, we're responsive. Now we need to protect these benefits by being proactive. All right. Now, let us continue. So mental conditions will prevent you from handling your money. It depends on whether the doctor fills out the things that said you can't manage finances. All right, we talked about that in the last live stream. So that's going to have some type of medical documentation that you are not competent to handle your finances. Now we're dealing with mental health conditions. Now, this could be a panic disorder. Now, we're not just talking about a panic disorder that you have panic attacks from time to time. We're talking about something that's so overwhelming you can barely function. Now, let's see. Yeah, I am one who asked for a fiduciary topic. Thank you. Let me tell y'all something. If you bring the topics up, H-Town Vet, if we got the information where we have to cover the whole video, we're going to do it. We got over 108 slides on this thing. You're going to learn stuff here that you're not going to learn anywhere else, because we're not just going to throw a pamphlet at you. We're not just going to throw a manual at you. We're going to break this thing down. And we got people that's on this live stream that can help us decipher this information. You understand? Because some of you have experienced it. Remember, we are the experts. Where else can you go that you ask about a topic and then that become an actual live stream? Come on now. I told you this is an interactive thing. When I tell you that's what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do. When you come up with information here, we're going to, if it's something that needs to be in a separate video, we're going to talk about it. Now, let us continue. Now, PTSD is another mental health condition that you could have a fiduciary. Depression, major depression in particular, where you can't function properly in daily life. Now, one that we don't really discuss in detail much is traumatic brain injury, commonly known as TBI. TBI is a mental health condition that has two issues. One, it has psychological issues that affects you psychologically, but it also affects you physically. Some of the symptoms actually mimic post-traumatic stress disorder. And thank you, Mile B, for asking us about this topic. That's why we covered it. And y'all have any other, that's why I often ask you what topics you have. Now, if you're in a car wreck, you can get a traumatic brain injury. Now, understand this here. Once you've gotten your benefits, let's say you got a traumatic brain injury after you became a disabled veteran, they could also put somebody over your funds then too, if they find out that you're not able to manage them. All right. You got to be real careful, because there were two veterans who were Vietnam veterans who were 100%, but they were homeless. And this one man got him, and he had him in his garage, living in his garage, and he was getting that check coming to him. He was getting that check and had them sleeping on the floor in his garage. And they had to go in and help those veterans. So you got to be very careful with your family member if you feel something's going on. Now let us continue. Eating disorder. Now, how many of you, let us know, give us a why in the chat if you knew that the VA compensate for eating disorders. And get an N in the chat if you didn't know that. N for no. Y for yes, you knew about eating disorders being service connected for VA compensation. And give us an N if you didn't know. Let us know in the chat. Now, if you have bulimia, if you have anorexic disease, any type of eating disorder, so Mile B said he didn't know. Yeah, so that's why we're going to actually start listing the disabilities that you can get service connection for. We're going to start off with mental disabilities. Be honest with you, eating disorders fall under psychological disabilities that the VA compensate for. And see, a lot of people, so Mr. International did know. Okay. All right. I didn't know until about a year ago. So that's why we're here interacting, trying to learn. Now, let me know if the music is okay, if I'm talking too loud. Let us know in the chat. Eating disorders, yes, that's another thing. Because why? Dementia. But let's talk about that eating disorder. When it comes to the eating disorder, people spend a whole bunch of money on food. They'll be irresponsible, and then they'll purge themselves, throw up or whatever to get the food out. Now back to dementia. Dementia is a serious condition. And that's something that we can't, how can I say? That's something that you can't really, it's a slowly deteriorating process. Now let's see what our brother, Major Boomer. So hope you're a dude, I'm not for sure. I'm a regular, James Lyons here. Okay, Major Boomer is James Lyons. Okay, that's our brother James Lyons in my neighborhood, the street 5th Ward. Okay, I'm not technically savvy, and it's frustrating. It frustrates my daughter. She suggests I have a YouTube handle. My daughter says, I'm such a boomer. My reply, I am a major boomer. You're a major boomer. Listen, I'm not technology savvy. They get on me. My daughter gets on me for the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning this as we go. Y'all have actually taught me some things about technology since I've been here. And let us know you're in the room. Let us know you're in the room. Let us know your branch of service, okay? Now let us continue. We're dealing with dementia. Now, 11 and what we were saying, okay. Dementia is something where a person can forget who they are, they can forget family members, and it often leads to death because the person just kind of just goes to start sleeping and just no energy. And under those conditions, you can't handle your finances. And that's why it's good to have a family member, your wife or husband, or a child, or any other family members that are still around, or other people such as a lawyer or whatever, somebody that's going to look out for them. Now, number 3, let's talk about the fiduciary duties. What are their responsibilities, okay? All right, we're going to have 6 sections that we're going to cover. Well, the first thing, to be simple, a fiduciary manages the beneficiary's money, among other things, and other VA benefits that we're going to talk about, and the benefits of the dependents. Now, manage compensation payments. That's what the fiduciary, that's their duties. Monthly bills, dependent benefits, and submitting a yearly financial report to the VAB, which is the VA, and the VA regional office, or the VA regional office. Now, if somebody's going to be a fiduciary, they need to have a plan, and the VA helps structures this. They need to have a plan about the veterans' bills, whether they be their mortgage, credit cards, insurance, utilities, and food, because they're going to be responsible for using the veterans, the beneficiaries, which is the veterans, compensation and other finances to pay those bills. Now, remember, there's a time limit there's time, because you got to pay these bills in a timely manner. And you need to know, they're going to have you fill out a yearly report documenting what the fiduciary has spent on behalf of the beneficiary, which is the veteran. Now, managing beneficiary funds. So when it comes to handling the veterans fund, we're going to talk about the veteran or their dependents. That's what the beneficiary is. The fiduciary must ensure that all of the beneficiaries' bills are paid on time. Here's the thing. Let me finish reading this first. This includes any income taxes or unpaid debts. Let me ask y'all, who would you trust? So let's say you have some debts because you was in the hospital and some debts kind of backed up, some bills backed up. Who would you want to be your beneficiary? I mean, your fiduciary. Who would you want to be in charge of managing your funds? Would it be a spouse, family member? Would you just get what they call it, certified or qualified lawyer through the VA? And sometimes they steal money too, not all the time. Or would you get an outside company? Let us know. Who would you get to manage your money if you wasn't able to manage it on your own? Who would you trust to do that? Sometimes the veteran doesn't have a choice, but you do play a role. It depends on. Now here we go. And if somebody's going to be a fiduciary, they got to be private with the veteran's information. They can't be going around leaving this open for their spouse to see. This is something that they're supposed to be responsible for. They can't talk about how much the the veteran is getting or their dependents. Now, and they can't just do it willy-nilly. They have to actually, the fiduciary must communicate with the VA. So what do they got to communicate with the VA about? Well, they got to do check-ins. Any changes that happen, they got to report any changes regarding the beneficiary, which is the veteran or dependent status. They got to do marital status. If, let's say, they get married, divorced, or one of the let's say their spouse dies, they need to report that. The fiduciary must report that to the VA. Now let's see what my OB said. My OB, you said you would use an outside fiduciary. You saying you don't trust your family members. I thought that's all we have is our family. Who would y'all trust? I know some of y'all, I don't want to get y'all in trouble, but who would y'all trust? I may have my daughter, but if she's out the area, or I may get somebody, I don't know. This is what you got to think about. And we're going to talk about that in the fraud section. Oh, yes, we're going to be covering fraud. That we'll talk about it when we get there, because that's an interesting thing. Well, I'll kind of mention it now. If you get a family member, if they take the money, guess what? How can you call fraud on a spouse? You ain't gonna be in a relationship no more if you say they stole your money, right? But if you get an outside agency to handle it, that's different. But if y'all have that type of trust, that's okay. If you have a husband, and what if he spend your money? He's supposed to be your fiduciary, but he's spending your money on another woman. Something to think about. You say, that's right. Now let's continue. So they need to report, the fiduciary must report changes such as marital status. They need to report other things such as if you get an increase in income or decrease in income, they need to your fiduciary need to let the VA know about that. This is important. Any type of changes, especially those regarding you personally or your income. In addition, if there's a birth or death, so when it comes to a birth, they need to let them know, because now you have another dependent. Guess what? It's important that they know, because they're going to be added onto your benefits, and they're going to be extra money needed to take care of another mouth to feed. So my OB say, I'm an executor right now, and I know better. So I hear you. So he's an executor over someone. I understand. Over somebody made him an executor over their estate or something similar to that. Okay. That's kind of like a fiduciary. Now, another thing that your fiduciary need to report, and this goes for y'all too, veterans. Now, if you get incarcerated, they need to report that. I'm not saying you need to report that to the VA. If you spend over 61 days in jail, let's say you're not under a fiduciary, and you spend 61 days in jail without, 61 days in jail for a felony, your benefits is going to go down to 10%. And if you are paid at 10%, they're going to make that half of your 10%. That's what you're going to get paid. Now, let them know, the fiduciary is supposed to let them know when you get incarcerated or you're convicted of a felony. Even if you don't go to jail, if you're convicted of a felony, the fiduciary needs to let the VA know, because they're responsible for you, because you might have to put money. If you're hospitalized, they need to know. If there's a death and the veteran or one of those family members passed, they need to know that also. Other changes that they need to be aware of. If you become competent again and you say, I can handle my money now. Yeah, I was in the hospital. I was hospitalized, but I'm okay right now. So when you get your competence back, you can tell them one or two things. You can say, hey, I don't want nobody handling my business anymore. I can handle it now. I'm competent to handle my own financial affairs. Or you can go to Board of Veteran Appeals and you can file an appeal. Because remember, this is a claim. Everything is a claim. Even dealing with a fiduciary, that is a claim. Now let us continue. Or you could just say you want them removed. I don't want that person to be my fiduciary anymore. I want somebody else, or I don't want a fiduciary, but then you have to prove why do you think you're competent enough to handle your own finances. Now this is when we get our back pay. That's when we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn whether they're gonna put somebody over our money. And we've talked about this before in the notification letter. When you're notified about your benefits, they tell you how much you make and how much you're going to get. That's usually on the 1st of every month, right? And they tell you your payment start date. What if you need a fiduciary? How is that affect it? We're about to talk about that now. Now, as we talked about in previous live streams, that your payment effective date is the month before you get your first monthly payment. And it usually includes your back pay and your first monthly payment. For example, if your payment effective date is May the 9th, that means they're going to start accruing your money right then. That's the day that your back pay starts and your monthly payment. Let me correct myself. Let me be clear. The award effective date, that's when you actually file your claim, or whatever date they use as your award effective date. And then your payment effective date, that's when your back pay stops accumulating. And at that point, your monthly payment starts. So that's going to be the month before your first monthly payment, because they let it accrue. Then, so if your payment effective date is May 9th, the first of the next month would be June 1st. You would get your first monthly payment and your back pay. Well, how does that work when you have a fiduciary? Let's talk about it. They're going to hold the back pay. So let's say you got 100%. You got 100%, and whatever back pay you got, they're going to hold it if the doctor checked that box saying that you're incompetent to handle your finances. They're going to hold that back pay. You understand? Until they decide whether or not you need a fiduciary. You can't, speak against it. So what do? Remember what I told you to do. You go to your doctor or some doctor that you're familiar with, a social worker that you see on a regular basis, and have them write a letter and sign it and give their medical opinion on whether or not they believe you can handle your finances. And you tell them you want them to say that you can handle it, and you submit that to the VA. Now, this is the form. This is the form that nobody wants to see, okay? Nobody wants to see this form. Yes, a statement in support of claim, but it deals with competency notice response. So this is when they're letting you know it's a possibility that they're going to declare you incompetent, but they have to notify you. When the VA is talking about messing with your money, they always have to notify you. Whether they're about to reduce you, they have to notify you if they're reducing your rating. They always have to notify you. Now let's see. The first section of the form deals with your personal information as usual. Your name, address, file number, different things like that, your contact information, personal information. Now, the second, when we move on to the second, it deals with the actual proposal. And they ask you when they say under the section called competency notice response, do you agree with our proposal to rate you incompetent for VA purposes? Do you waive your response time? So meaning you just saying, yeah, I'm incompetent. My wife gonna handle it. Oh, I got somebody to do it. I know I can't handle it. They handle it anyway. And you can waive it. That's up to you. How many of you would waive it and say, you know what? You saying I'm incompetent? Put a Y in the chat. If you wouldn't waive it, put an N, no. N for no. Now, here we go. The last part of the form where it say, do you agree or disagree? What would you put there? Agree or disagree that they're going to declare you incompetent? I know I would disagree personally. Now, what funds? Now, some of you don't get upset because some of you are retired. You're about to learn something tonight. Let's say, for example, that let me tell you what they're going to hold. They can hold your. They can make the fiduciary responsible for your monthly VA check, compensation check. They can also put them over your military retirement, your Social Security, disability, or Social Security straight out. Now let's talk about dependent status. Now this is kind of so Major Boomer, our brother Lion say no. Lion say no. Now let's talk about what makes someone a dependent. This is going to be clear because they also can have somebody over their funds. Now here's the dependent. A dependent is a beneficiary's spouse, and we're using the word beneficiary and veteran interchangeably. Beneficiary spouse, child, or parent who does not have enough income to meet their needs for personal care and well-being, and who obtain support for such needs from the beneficiary or the veteran. Now, here's some of the dependents. It could be your spouse, it could be your biological child, or your stepchild. You want to be real careful when it comes to stepchildren, because if you're no longer with the parent, if you're no longer with their parent, that becomes a little dicey there. So you got to be real careful with that. It could be a child becomes disabled before the age of 18. They call them a helpless child. Now at this point, they are over 18, but the thing is, because they were helpless before they turn 18, they're considered a helpless child. So this is another dependent. Let's talk about some more dependents here. Adopted children. If you adopt a child, whether it could be somebody in your family, you could adopt your grandchildren, you can adopt nieces and nephews, or you can adopt somebody that you're not blood related to. That also counts as a dependent. And let's get into this about your parents. You may become responsible for dependent parents, and they have to meet certain income requirements. They can't make too much money, but you can add them as a dependent, just like your spouse or child, and get paid for them. And they can get all the benefits, CHAMP VA, and educational benefits like any other dependent. Now, what I want y'all to remember, remember we talked about the 4 types of 100%. The 4 types of 100%. The ones that you get the dependent educational assistance, DEA, which is Chapter 35 educational benefits, is when you're 100% permanent total or TDIU. Now listen what he said. He say, miss my parents, 1 too slow. Yeah, I miss mine too. Yeah, I miss my parents. I miss my grandparents, my great-grandparents. Yeah, I'm here by myself now. Got my daughter. Now, another thing that the fiduciary can handle, they can handle those benefits, the educational benefits, if the child is under 18. Also, CHAMP VA healthcare. If there are any payments that need to be made, the fiduciary will handle it. This is the other thing dealing with the dependent. Now let's see. Now once the child turn 18, unless they have some kind of mental or mental health problems that cause them where they can't handle their own benefits, they usually can handle their own benefits. Even though you may fall under the fiduciary, that don't mean they will. Now let's see. Died before dependency. Okay, they died before dependency. Now, the fourth thing here, the selection process for the fiduciary. Let's talk about what that selection process is. What are the qualifications? They have an assessment process over at the VA. All right. They're going to go over the monthly bills of what needs to be done, see if you can handle those things. We almost done here. Now, the person that handles it, they call them a VA field examiner. This is the person that when you're choosing a fiduciary, they're going to be the person that they work with and organize and set up the visits, that set up the training and all of this information. And they actually come out to your house. And eventually you're going to have a face-to-face meeting. If they don't already live with you, like a family member or a spouse, the fiduciary and the beneficiary are going to have a face-to-face meeting, because you have to be able to get along with the individual. And they talk and see how you get along with them. And, being able to get along with somebody, being satisfied with that somebody over your money, that matters too, whether they're qualified or not. Now, they're going to do a credit check also. Yeah, they do a credit check. You got to have at least good credit if you're going to be a fiduciary. They do a background criminal check because they don't want the thieves in there. And the fiduciary has to have reference check also, because they need character witnesses to say that you are, a legitimate person. They know you of having good character, because you're going to be dealing with someone else's money as a fiduciary. They also have a follow-up interview. And then the qualified candidate, they get selected. Now let's deal with fraud. We're almost at the end here. When it comes to somebody dealing with your money, the biggest thing that people are concerned about is people taking it. So we're going to talk about that and how the VA has put things in place to try to so-called protect veterans. But hey, I'm about to show you something that might irritate you a little bit, but we're going to get into it. We're on number 5. We're going to have one left after this. So fiduciary and fraud. The person, if they steal your money. First, everybody doesn't necessarily steal the money. Some people just quit. They say this is too much of a responsibility, handling somebody else's money, and I can't do it, anymore. Other people also, they get fired. All right, because they're not because they did something fraudulent. It's just because they're not good at managing the person's the beneficiary's money. And then here we go to people that's taking the veterans' money. So how do you protect your money? What do they have in place, the VA, to protect the veterans' money? Well, it depends on how much the money is. They call them a surety bond, but it's only to cover at a certain amount. If it's less than that, you're on your own. Now, the surety bond, VA will require fiduciary to purchase and maintain corporate security bond for funds over $25,000. That's right. If it's $25,000 or under, you may just lost the money. The VA will cover it if you have a security bond. Now, I think they should be able to cover it below that, But I know when it's over $25,000, they require that the fiduciary have a security bond. This to protect the beneficiary's money. The bond replaces the beneficiary's funds if you commit fraud, which meaning the fiduciary does, or if you waste or misuse the beneficiary's fund. Now, will they go to jail? I'm sure that should be illegal to do that. Now, here's the contact information. The contact information, if you want to find out about a fiduciary or you received a proposed fiduciary, somebody proposing one for you, here's the information. You can go to your regional office. Here's the number for the fiduciary program, 1-888-407-0144. Here's the email, vafiduciary@va.gov, or the website, which is va.gov fiduciary. Now, we're done with that. Now we want to talk. If this video has been informative, please like, share, and subscribe. And I want to thank you for joining us. And I want to give a special thanks to Mr. International for the donation last time, and Military Mike for your donation. Leave a little note or something. Let us know you are. Thank you. Thank you. And that's the whole thing. We're going to cover different topics, but we're going to, some of them may not be as sexy as others. The whole goal is to make sure we're able to protect ourselves. So at least if something come up, you can come back and look at this video. Now we're going into, thank you. And this is our Cash App. If you'd like to donate, $ H-Town Vet Northside, which the H, T, V, and N capitalized. Thank you. Now we're going into the after party. Now we can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Any questions, any ideas, anything you want to say. My OB, any questions about the information that we covered? My OB said, where were you last time? My brother, I missed you. This is better than the lawyer had to pay and deal with. Now, when you say this is better, you're talking about what we're talking about? So listen, even if you get lawyers, even if you get a separate company to handle you with your claim, to even in being a fiduciary, you need to be informed. You don't never do anything, even when it comes to a lawyer. And if it's your case, whether it be a divorce, anything, you need to know everything that's going on. Anything that deals with your money, you need to know it step by step. Tell them, tell that lawyer, tell that representative, explain it to me like you would a 5-year-old. That's what you tell them. Now we at the after party. Now, any questions, any comments, anything you want to say about it? Where you at on your journey? Where you want to get to? You trying to get, where you at right now? Or you between 0 and 20% low? Are you between 30 and 50% moderate? Or are you at considerable 30 to 90% disability compensation rate? Or you high, but it's temporary? High, I got a high rating, but it's temporary. Temporary 100%, or IU, which is individual unemployability. The ultimate that all of us would like to have is 100% permanent total, because they don't mess with your money. And TDIU, which is like 100% permanent total. Now, when you say that you're stuck at intent, what do you mean by that? What do you mean you're stuck at intent to file? What do you mean by that? Let us know. Let us know and check it. I don't know what you mean by you stuck at intent. Now let us know. Now remember, when you're dealing with this VA, and we need to continue to remember this, you're dealing with percentages. Well, they're dealing with the paperwork first, and they trying to determine your percentage, and based on your percentage, that's how much they're going to pay you. Now, keep filing intent and then go nowhere. Okay. Now, the intent to file is meant for you to file it, and then what you do is gather your information during that time. Remember how I showed you to back your evidence up. Gather your evidence, then back your evidence up with VA law. Okay? This is going to be the important thing to do. That's going to be the critical thing that you need to do. Now, what are you saying there? Because I might pull up another slide if y'all, let me see. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to the next one here. And this the form you need whenever you're doing evidence that you're putting together on your own and you're outlining, you want to put it on the 21-4138. If you want to know where the VA is on your claim, you need to fill out this form and tell them, hey, I submitted my claim on this date and I haven't heard anything back. Y'all have not scheduled me for a C&P exam. Where y'all at? It's been 5 months. It's been 7 months. Let them know. All right. Now, any questions of us here? Because I'm gonna see. Let us know. Anything else? If not, we're gonna close it out. Hold on, y'all putting some of my OB saying something. Oh yeah, the VA law. There it is again. Yeah, there it is again. VA law, because if you're not backing it up with VA law, it's not going to help you unless you're backing it up with VA law. That's the important part of it. Now, here we go to Military Mike. Shout out to the best channel for veterans, H-Town Vet. We pray for you for that hurricane near you. Stay safe. Yeah, it's been some rain out here. Well, that's why I got on early. I got on, I guess, around use time, but I'm going to make sure I start because they say our internet or power may go down. How's it where you at? How's the weather where you at? At this point, you can talk about whatever you want to talk. Y'all want to talk about relationships? Y'all want to talk about money? Y'all want to talk about anything? We're in the after party. It's up to you now. Let's see what my OB said. Thank you, Military Mike, and thank you for that donation you gave also. Now, where do we look it up, please? Oh, you talking about the fiduciary information? Okay. He's saying over there in Louisiana, they have light range. Now, okay, see, that's why I like y'all talking. Let me show you. Let me leave it on the screen. Here's the information. If there it is for the, if you want to do for the fiduciary program, here's the contact information right here. Now let's see what our brother Lounge is saying. This is his other name. Sent for your request to get copies of C-File back in April. Still waiting on getting a copy of my medical records. Have additional claims to file. Let me ask you, when you said you put in a request for your back in April for your C-File, do you have a representative, someone that you can go to that you can get the information quicker? Do you have somebody that's your power of attorney when it comes to your VA claim? Let us know in the chat, because you can probably get it faster that way. Okay, Military Mike say, Veronica said hello. Tell your wife I said hello also. And we appreciate not just you, but your all the dependents that support us. Tell her thank you. And I'm thinking about pulling that thing up on dependents. You know what? Y'all got me feeling good tonight. Since we ain't got much going on, I might mess around and pull that one up on dependent status, since we're talking about dependents. Okay? Don't get messing with me. Mr. International say, inform veteran detail filing a claim due to exposure, JP 8. Now, what's JP 8? Tell me what that is. I think I've heard it before, but I'm not for sure. Okay. No, the back it up with VA law. Is there a book or use CFR? Yeah, that's the law book. That's the law book. The CFR. You can Google the sections that you want. Now, have you ever used the American Legion or Veteran of Foreign Wars for claim filing? I used the American Legion, and the person that I used was effective. He helped me through the whole disability. I was with him for years until he retired. This is a friend of mine. I didn't know nothing about it. I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, JP8 is the fuel. I can't remember how I met my representative, but it's a hit or miss thing. It's the fuel. Now, is that the fuel on diesel fuel? Is that the fuel on the planes? Is that the fuel in trucks? Or is it just the general diesel fuel? No, I don't. Jet fuel. Okay. All right. Now, y'all in the house, let me see if I can pull this up. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all got any more questions? Let's see what our brother, Mr. International, said. That jet fuel, okay. A lot of veterans don't know that they can file due to JP8 exposure. Y'all need to know those exact words. Please make sure. Is that the terminology that you use when you're filing the claim? And he's actually putting the symptoms out there. Look at this. Look at the headaches, rhinitis, and sinusitis. Wow. He not only told you what the causes was. Now, so is this mainly Navy or anybody that was around jets, whether that be Army jets, Air Force jets, or Navy jets? I'm not for sure if the Marines have jets. I'm not for sure. Let us know in the chat. Now let's see what our brothers say. Receive email response that my C-file request is a complex request. What that mean? That they gonna take all day to try to finish it? Come on, man. Yeah, everything is complex with the VA. You need them benefits, brother. You ain't trying to hear that. Continue. You know what I think I might do? Since y'all here, I'm gonna see if I can find it. Keep doing what y'all do. Let's see. Let me see. I'm thinking about I might pull this one here out. Now y'all continue to do what y'all do. Let me pull that down. So let's see what he said. The jet fuel. I gotta make this bigger so I can see it. But let me pull something up. Let's see. Let me make this full screen. Okay, yes, JP8. It's a major exposure for any branch under terror. And the PAC Act did not know it. Anybody in here was exposed to fuel. You need wow. Okay, JP8 is the fuel that's used to fill up Humvees, forklifts, LMTVs, and other military vehicles. Well, I drove a Humvee, and I was actually, before I went to my MOS of tanker driving tanks. I was actually at 88 Mike. They put me, and I was dealing with all that fuel. So if you've basically driven almost any vehicle in the military. Now let's see what he says here. Mao B says, has good Superfund site, was radioactive from atomic testing, and benzene cut out the piping for benzene for years. Wow, that's exposure there too. Where was that at? Where were you located when that happened? Now consider going to the regional office and requesting to see if they can give me a copy. 3-hour drive. Now, it's a 3-hour drive. Is it in the same state, Mr. Lyons? Let us know in the chat. Let us know. Now, it's weird that when we get to the end, people start coming in. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, maybe I need to start a little later. Do y'all think I need to start a little later, about 8 o'clock? Let me know in the chat. Because I when I'm getting ready to close out, that's when everybody show up. They on Black people time or what? Now, let me see. I'm going to pull this other one up. Now, while y'all here, I'm going to give y'all a little extra tonight. It's a 3-hour drive. So since y'all here, y'all holding in with us. We've already talked about the topic of the night, the fiduciary, and we're learning interesting thing. I want to ask y'all, is it too late to sign up for the PACT Act, since some people just filing out about this fuel? If you're just coming into the room, please look at the chat as we put it up, because these veterans are very knowledgeable about things. When I was in my aviation unit, we had barrels of JP8 on stockpile. And you think some of that did not leak into the ground? Do you think that didn't leak into your skin? Did they have y'all wearing gloves all the time? Or did you have direct skin exposure? Let us know in the chat. Major Boomer. Okay, Major Boomer. Now, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to play this one. I'm probably have to mute it because it has hello. Hold on, give me a sec. Now, let's say it's too late to file for the PACT Act. I told my doctor, but I don't know if I physically filed. Okay. What about the other one? What about Camp Lejeune? And have y'all heard anything else about what's that other one? I forget that other base. McCullen. What about that? Now, I'm going to tell y'all about my city, Houston, Texas. We keep on putting information in chat and we're going to discuss it. But I'm going to tell you a little bit. This is one of my first videos. Matter of fact, this is actually the first video that I actually had came out. And we're going to go over it. Now, benzene is everywhere. Find your base. The exposure amount found and how long you were directly and indirectly exposed. Do you know they said something about exposure even in Germany? I was in Bamberg, Germany. They saying that on my base it was possible exposure. It's no longer a military base. They're using it as a shelter now. Oh, yes. Uh-oh, you made me think of something. That JBA fumes were very strong. It was inhaled by many of us. Guess what? Military Mike? On our tanks, you know what kind of engines they had? They had jet engines that they put in the airplanes. So I bet you they had that same fuel. I'm going to have to look into that. TCE exposure is another claim. All right. I can't say that fancy word. Is used to clean weapons like M16s in the military. Yeah, we may have used it. Now let's see what Brother Angel in the house. Angel is in the house. Glad to have you, my brother. It's not too late. Deadline for back pay from August 10, 2014 is August 10th, 2024. The PAC Act is ongoing. It's an active policy. I'm gonna have to go check that out. Now, since I'm 100% permanent total, will I be, you think it might put my benefits at risk, or do you think it's worth it? Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna talk to somebody about that. Now, is that asthma? JP8 exposure can induce asthma. Is that asthma? TCE, yes, big one. I'm gonna have to look into that one also. Now, this is my city, Houston here. Continue with what y'all doing. I was born and raised here. They didn't really start cleaning it up to like 2000, when they were talking about having the Olympics here. They used that as an excuse. And my family has lived in Texas for like 170 years. And I've lived in the Houston areas for almost that same amount of time. Now let's see what it says here. Worthless problems is the worst bases has been closed. Now let me ask you, do they have a list of the bases that were contaminated? Is there a list of them? And I'm gonna come back up on the screen with y'all for a second here while we doing this here. So I want to know people to see me. Get this here. That's what I want to ask you. Do they have a list of those bases that's covered under the PACT Act? Let's see what our brother Mal B saying. Sign. He said, anytime you file a new claim, you open yourself up for review of your rating condition. Yes, they said only about one person who filed for the PAC Act who actually got called in for a review, a reduction or something like that. Fort McClellan for sure. Okay. Now, this is my home. And y'all see with all the weather, it's going to be hitting us here in the Houston, New Orleans area, all along the coast. So, we're getting some rain, but it's not heavy. But they do, I think, my daughters, they said, don't come into work from home. And my niece are not going to work tomorrow. Now, Houston is known as the Bayou City, but we just call it H-Town. Huh? I can see downtown from my house. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I can see downtown from my house. Just looking that's how close I live to downtown. And that's the Buffalo Bayou right there. It cuts right through the middle of downtown. And this is the medical center. 5 reasons disabled veterans should move to Houston. All right. See what he got here. Fort McClellan have radio lab. Okay. Radiation labs. Okay. We got a lot of amusement parks. It's hot here. So, they got a lot of amusement park, water parks, all that in Texas. I'm glad you're giving us that information. We had a rodeo every year, them bucking cowboys, and they give veteran discount also. How many of you been to the rodeo down here in Houston or anywhere else? We have the concerts every I think every week or every night. Hold on, we got this mad 100 kid. I was rated under the old law for 100%, from 100%. Recently, VA changed it to 30%. Can the VA try to reduce my 100% under the new law, which is 30%? I don't think, now when you're saying you rated 100%, for what condition? The rodeo is in February of every year, military Mike. I'm coming right back to you, Matt. Rodeo is every year, once a year in February. And they give you discounts as veterans. So if you come here, they'll give you discount. And I think you can get in the concert still for free. Let me go back to Matt. Then I'm gonna get now. And they have people here. They have different people. They have a Tejano night, which is the Hispanic night. They had of course the black night. They had a country music, which is black music anyway. We created it. And they have people. They had Brad Paisley. I saw it 2 years ago because I was in trail riding groups, so I used to ride horses. They used to have George Strait all the time. So back to what you're saying, what condition is rated at 10%, Mad 100 kid? What condition? Because you should be grandfathered, and if they try to reduce you, they're going to put in a proposal, and then you might need to see a lawyer. This one time you may need to fight. They may represent you or not. If not, we will pull that VA law up, but I need to know what the condition is, my good people. And thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe so you can get this information, because this is the only place that you can come for interactive information. The veteran, you can talk to me and I can talk to you. See, all you have to do is come back. If something I tell you wrong, come back and let me know. I ain't hide behind no screen, nothing. I'm right here. You understand? Now, let's see what GA Boy 78 said. Has anyone got any conditions connected because of jet fuel exposure? Now, that's what they've been talking about tonight. And I'm not for sure. Is anybody in here has gotten service connected for jet fuel exposure, or this is a new condition and they're still pending? Let us know, military Mike. I filed 2 weeks ago. The reference is the William Collins Jet Fuel Exposure Act for anyone who is wondering. Oh, I needed to know that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And we want you, we glad to have you. You better start coming all the time. Now we want you to be part of our family. You a Georgia boy? Is that who you are? Is that a Georgia boy? That's what GA stand for, Georgia. Now, let's see what military Mike going off the chain here. Does anyone know if the changes in tinnitus rating take effect yet? Now, if it's under this new changes that they're doing with mental health, does it fall under that, or is it some other changes? Because I don't think they've done the ones with the mental health and the migraines. I don't think they've done that yet. Somebody let him know in the chat if you do know. I got connected for tinnitus right off the bat, but you need to let us know how you were able to do that and what percentage that they give you, military Mike, for tinnitus. Is it worth the squeeze? Did they give you a 0% rating, a 10% rating? And matter of fact, what's the highest percent rating can you get for tinnitus? Let us know. That's why we here. See, the after part, I can't believe all y'all come after. Y'all something else. Everybody coming in here now. Let us know if you in here. You in Dale, if you're in the room. D Law, my brother Bernie, anybody, y'all better let me know you're in the room. Now, we have a carnival. I'm going to tell you, the most fun thing in Houston is the carnival. Let me pull myself up. I do apologize. The funnest thing when you come in here is the carnival. I got my face on the screen. Sorry about that. Now, let's see. He said, Yang. He said, yeah. He say 10%, but you can get 100% if you have surgery for it. Now, when you say you can get 100% for it, what if they try to put you, give you a hearing aid or give you the surgery and fix it? Will you still be able to get 100%? Let us know in the chat. Now we got mad 100 kids. What you mad about? Mad? Let us know. It's been 9 years. Now I am 100% permanent total. The rating schedule got changed for my disability in 2019. But you're locked in. Now here's the thing. You're locked in for now, Mad. It's possible, and it don't mean necessarily it's going to happen. If you file a new claim, it's possible for you to fall under the new rules, even if the VA say you don't. So you got to be careful. Whenever you open up a new claim, they can get into your other claims. You understand? That's why we here communicating. I'm amazed when we just start freestyling, everybody show up. Secondary condition to tinnitus is sleep apnea. Did you hear that? Military Mike? If you got, whoever said they had tinnitus, who said they had tinnitus? But we do have a carnival, and that happens daily down here in February when we had a rodeo. It's in the same thing as I think it's Reliance Stadium where they play football at. It's right there. That matter of fact, they have the rodeo stuff, some of that in the concerts inside where they play. Did you hear about that secondary? Whoever said they service connected 10% for tinnitus? Who said that? Somebody said that. I'm looking for who said that. 10%. I'm wondering if that's for tinnitus. Because somebody say sleep apnea, because they talking about you need if the secondary condition to tinnitus is sleep apnea, what you need to do, I'm not for sure. Find out, get the information. We'll try to look it up ourselves. You need, that'll be a good thing to file before they change the rules, because they're trying not to pay as much under the new proposals. They're talking about reducing how much you get for sleep apnea. They don't like to service connect sleep apnea anyway. Okay, good to know. It's in my records. Good. Hold on. Did I say Bernie is in the house? Did somebody say something about Bernie in the house? Okay. Make sure you have evidence to support your claim. There was a veteran who was 100% permanent total and filed for TDIU being greedy. Why, if you're 100% permanent total, would you file for TDIU? You don't get any more money. That's almost like a downgrade, because now they're going to put more restrictions on you where you can't work but under certain conditions. That's what I'm saying. Some people just get claim happy. Tell us more about that, Bernie, about them getting greedy. Now you say, my mistake. You said tinnitus, not tinnitus. Okay. I didn't know. I thought I got them mixed up. My fault. Now, I'm glad y'all here. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit more about my hometown. They had a carnival. If you ever see that movie with Jennifer Lopez about Selena, that was in the old stadium. That was in the Astrodome that they shot that. They're trying to make it a monument thing. But the carnival, they have slides. We have smoked turkey legs. We got our thing down there, the Turkey Leg Hut over in 3rd Ward. You get good turkey legs. They got good food all over here. And if you like Mexican food, boy, Texas is the place. You understand? And they got all kinds of Caribbean food. Jamaican, I like that jerk chicken. I haven't eaten any Cuban food yet, but I have had Indian food. Now, let's see what it's saying here. Oh, okay. I left Mark. He say, Bernie sold many records, but they rarely wrote a hard DX, hard copy. Okay. You in Houston? Yes, I am, John. Born and raised. I'm in the Houston area now. I guess you know, I'm in a suburb of Houston. I'm on the west side. What you know? He said, I live by the turkey leg hut. I hear you, Evan. Yeah, I'm in Houston, brother. I was born and raised in Houston. I'm in the Houston areas now. I'm actually in Richmond right now, right outside of Houston. You know where that is, huh? Between Sugar Land and Katy. They say something. Do all have Mexican buffet? I don't know about a Mexican buffet. Now let's see what John say. Time. What is that? H-time. Yeah, H-time. Let me say this here, John. John, I don't know what I don't know what your background is, brother. But what's the best soul food in Houston, if you know about it? What the best place to go for jerk chicken? Jerk chicken, I go to Lovebird. Lovebird off Highway 6. That's the Jamaican food. I ain't been there in a while though, but just oxtail is where I go for that soul food. Okay, the military was vague, but the VA stands on VAGURE when it comes to a diagnosis. Tell me, what? I don't know what that means, folks. I don't know what that is. Let me know what you mean by those letters. I'm not real familiar with the letters. And y'all just coming into the chat, please like, share, and subscribe. If the information has been informative, join us, because if you like this part of it, this the after party where we getting together. Where else can you go and interact with other veterans, and we can share information with each other? We learn so much just by communicating. And like I was saying earlier, please don't forget our don't forget our Cash App. Hold on. This thing here to be acting up. Give me a second. It just be going on its own. If you would like to donate, we appreciate it. Some have. Let me make this thing stop. I'm not technology savvy, so please subscribe. And if this information been informative, please donate to us, because we're going to keep pulling it, because it takes a little bit to keep the production going. We got all these speakers and computers and all this stuff. We appreciate it. Super duper vague. Yeah, I like that. Super duper vague. I like that. Okay, I know when I was I used to check folks about Houston. I just got out and made it back in January. Hold on now. You need to watch our video. You need to watch our video. The 20 benefits, 20 Texas benefits for veterans and their dependents. You need to watch that, because there's time limits on it. My daughter going to school for free right now, John Jackson. I'm telling you what the thing is. I'm glad I got out here. That's what we going over these benefits. Look, you can ride all the tollways for free, John, once you get a 50% rating, or really once you get the disabled veteran tags. That's why we trying to hip you the game. Spread the word to other people here, because this is my specialty, Houston, the Houston area, but veteran benefits in general. John, you come to the right place at the right time, my brother. Now, Kevin say, even family, I know you with your family, but I'm glad you joined us. They've been talking about all of these, the PAC Act, and it's another one y'all were talking about. What's that other one y'all was talking about? And I'm glad, see, this is the place that we come, John Jackson. This is where we come to interact with each other. We're not just speaking one way. You can go back, you can learn what we talked about fiduciaries tonight, but we're also talking about, we give you a chance to say what you have to say. This is about all of us. Where else can you go for that type of interaction? Now, Can't read that Cash App now, but PayPal. I don't have no PayPal. I'm gonna have to try to get something like that. The Cash App is hashtag HTownVet. All together. The H and the T is capitalized. The V is capitalized. And the N. So it's HTownVet Northside. If you just play it back, you see it. Now, but I see about getting what you said, PayPal. I do Cash App because they haven't done it where they monetize me yet, because I could probably try to do super chat and stuff, but I got my hours and stuff, but I guess they looking over stuff. Jet fuel exposure. And I want to thank y'all for all the watch hours and subscribers, because y'all helping the channel to grow, and y'all don't know how much that mean to me and to my family. I really appreciate it here at the H-Town Vet. Remember, they was talking earlier, Georgia boy, make sure I'm saying it right, Georgia boy 78, he was talking about that jet fuel exposure. And then here's that other one for those you just coming in the room, the terror, toxic exposure, risk activity. Y'all need to get into it. If you want to be informed and learn about benefits, you come to the right place. And let me see what I got. I'll pull it up for you, Mile B. For those that can't see it on there, I think I got a banner for the if you can, we appreciate whoever can, whoever can't. We understand. Whoever donate, we appreciate. Here it is right here. Mile B, Cash App, hashtag HTownVet Northside. It's in the blue at the bottom. So let's get back over here, see what y'all got on the screen. And so he said, for you putting that acronym out there, he said, thank you. He said, thank you. Now, let me see. So now we had a rodeo every February, and they have one night just for veterans down here in Houston. You understand? And they have a day where they honor veterans, and you can go to this Veteran Day, tickets and everything. It should be free. They used to be. I don't know about now. The carnival, I used to take my daughter there all the time. All right. Now, John say, he said, John, okay, Angel said, if you ETS, meaning, exit out of the military, in January 2024, time to click. I hope you have a ITF and evidence before January 2025. BDD claim is money. Now, understand something. Understand, if you just got out within a year, you need to try to get your claims in, because they'll go back. We talked last time about the 10 different type of claims. Watch our live stream. Go over to the tab when you're looking at our videos, and go to the live stream tab, and you go down to the last one we done, or any of them. But the last we done on it, we talked about back pay and the 10 types of claims. And we talked about information about that, about when you're getting out the military. When you're getting out the military, you got a year to file a claim, and they'll go back to the date of injury while you in the military. Let's see what he's talking about. But brother, I'm still waiting on those clowns to stop slow walking my paperwork. I was in Korea, filed my BDD paperwork in December. I filed my claim in January 1. Let me tell you something, John. You don't stop. If they deny you, you keep appealing it. Don't get discouraged. If you got to do it for the next 20 years, they're going to have to pay you that back pay. Don't you ever stop. That way, eventually, you're going to win your claim, but you need to back it up with evidence. That's why you need to watch our other videos, because you can't just be filing claims without it being supported by evidence. The evidence needs to be backed up by VA law. And we break all that down here, John. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what it's all about, brother. We got good people here. I had my CMP exam in April. Trust me, I'm tracking what I am entitled to. I'm waiting on the VA to stop dragging their feet. No, you don't wait on the VA. You start preparing for your next step. That's why you come to the right place. You don't wait on the VA. What you're doing, you start preparing your appeal before they even do it. If they approve your claim, you don't have to worry about it. You have that information in case they ever try to reduce you. Now, you're always working on your next step. Never wait on them. You're always working on the next step. Remember something. Look what our brother, we said this in the last video. Look what Military Mike say. John, remember, time is more money. Time equals money. So the longer they wait, the more they have to pay you. You just can't go a year without filing an appeal. You got to always file that appeal to keep that money. If they deny you, ask for a high level review. File an appeal. Now, come down here to Texas. Have some of that good brisket. I cooked some steaks today. Who cooked something for the 4th of July? Who cooked something for the 19th of June? That's when the slaves were freed down here. That's our Independence Day, because the 4th of July, we were still enslaved. So we really down here in Texas don't really, and some people do it, but we celebrate 19th of June, those being from my my freedman culture, those that are free from slavery. My granddaddy was doing that till the day he died. He was born in the 1800s. You understand? We barbecue, good barbecue down here. Oh, we got the alligators. Who live in a state without? Oh Lord, look. Hold on. That's that good brisket. Yeah, brother, that good brisket. Let's see what Angel say. I'd cook a brisket too now. I cook some of the best brisket. Now, if you come down here, you can get access to them state parks. Since you back here, John, if you 60%, you can get your Texas Parkland passport with a 60% rate. And that's why you want to get them benefits right. And check in y'all state, whatever state that y'all in, veterans that's listening to this live stream, check to see if they have any benefits or ways you can, if you're a disabled veteran or whatever, what are the qualifications for getting, you got to ask them, access to state parks. And if you're 100%, you get access to all the national parks for free for you and about 6 of your family members. Check into it. Now let's see what Mr. International say. He's one of our biggest sponsors and donors here. And we thank Military Mike too for being a supporter, financial support. Now, do you believe veterans should have the assistance of a representative? It depends. Remember what I said in past live streams. If you're going to have a representative, you need to be informed also as much as possible. Some things they're going to know that you don't know. But in addition to that, they need to be informed. They got to include you into the process. If they're doing anything without explaining to you what's going on, when I had my representative at the American Legion, he told me what the deal was. He taught me things, and I was able to learn things, and I started helping him with claims. I started giving him knowledge and stuff because of the way he taught me. See, when you teach me how to fish, I'll show you how to catch a bigger fish. So that's how we work with each other. All right? So it depends on whether that person is communicating with you, Mr. International. Are they giving you feedback? Are they keeping you in the loop? Are they filing the paperwork when they say they're going to file it? Never, when it comes to your intent to file, don't trust no lawyer or no representative turn it in. Let them turn it in, but you go turn one in yourself. I turn that in because if they don't turn in, you're the only one going to be held responsible. You understand? Not even a lawyer. Because if the VA didn't get it, you're going to lose all that back pay. But you must have a rep, but everything is explained. Just do your research. Yes, it's good to have a rep, but you need to do your homework because remember, nobody understands your situation like you do. Now, the veteran received a notice to reduce. He hired a lawyer to help him fight. But being greedy and not understanding his rating led him to being greedy. Okay. Let's see what the brother say. Finish that up, Bernie, so I'll understand. H-Town Vet, would you ever buy Bitcoin? I don't know. I'm not as familiar with it. Are you familiar with it? I'm glad. So tell me more about it. I don't know. I'm just ignorant when it comes to that. I'm not knowledgeable. Can you go to the Houston Zoo for free? I think they give you a discount, 50% off or something like that. I'm not for sure because I've been trying to do that and it's been kind of crazy. And we never, and that's sad. I live right in the area, go down to Herman Park because the Houston Zoo is in Herman Park, right by Rice University on Main Street coming out of downtown, right on 59. I used to go there as a kid all the time. They got a little railroad thing. They got it fixed up nice too, little duck stuff and play things. I used to take my daughter down when she was a little baby and a little girl. Yeah, so yeah. You get a discount though, a military discount. Now, when you're dealing with the Brazos Bean Park, that's a state park here, right in the Houston area. It's about 30, 40 minutes out. I think it's toward Neeville. No, not Neeville. I forget. Brazos Bean Park is the name of it. And they got, ain't no gate between you and the alligators. I want you to understand that. So if you get close enough, you could be, you know what's up. Now, that's what they look like right there, right? So we do have alligators just like Florida, Louisiana, other places. We got alligators here. Now let's see what our brother International is talking about here. Okay, that was just a shameless plug because I'm a VA rep. I remember you saying that, Mr. International. Mr. International, he a VA rep. The advantages of, I read the paperwork, I think you sent me, but I couldn't understand. It was kind of blurry. The advantages of being informed helps you to fight the VA. This is what, did you hear what he said? That's why we have people like Mr. International here. By being informed, it helps you to fight the VA because you can articulate. If you don't tell your representative the right information, how can they help you? Now, I don't understand why veterans have to wait a year for a C-file. Tell us some more information, Mr. International, since you're representing, on how to get your C-file faster. Let us know, my brother in the chat. Okay, he say, Ed Military Mike, I know that you got a discount at the museum and a discount on the membership. Yeah. Let me say this to you. When you over there by the Herman Park, you can get, at certain days you can go there, I think for free. I know you can get a discount, but they gonna get you on the food. It's gonna be. Let's see what he say. He's Bernie asked Mr. International if you're in Houston also. They don't know where you're at. Military Mike say, thank John. Let's see what he said. H-Town Vet showing that gator makes me hungry. Y'all don't understand. Some of it, eat that gator meat, huh? Tell them about that. Going down to Papa Do's. Tell them about that gator meat they got on the menu. They got them frogs up there, birds. It's very nice. Turtles, and they say the alligators are well fed. So you be all right. Then they got Cap Rock Mountain, which is up there in the Panhandle. This is another state park. Isn't that beautiful? That's like something out of a movie right there. And they named it after that rock. You see that rock up there? I got a blown up part of it. That's it on the mountain to the right and to the left. That's the actual Cap. That's why they call it Cap Rock Mountain. It's like a rock sitting. Isn't that beautiful? I've never been, but I want to go. He say some gator boots. What you know about them gator boots? Some people will cancel us for that saying because they say you shouldn't be wearing those gator boots. Somebody might throw something on your paint on your boots. Now, Mr. International's telling us how to increase to get our claims faster. The fastest way to get your C-file is to have a representative. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. And thank you for letting us know for sure there, Mr. International. It's as simple as downloading it from VA database. When veterans have to wait for a C-file and the VA is changing laws, it's not helpful. So you need to get a representative at least to be able to get access to your C-file quicker. And your C-file is your claim file, every claim that you file, and you'll be able to use that because you don't know if the VA is actually using it in a decision of the claim. You'll actually get any exams that they sent you to, CMP exams, all of that, all the claims, a copy of your code sheet if you don't have it. Come on now. Now we got more people in here now than was in there earlier. I might start doing this a little later. So I didn't realize they had buffalo up here at Cap Rock Mountain. You see those buffalo? They don't just have them in National Park. Also, you can get them hunting license down here if you're 60%. You can get to go in the state parks at 60%, but these are state benefits. That's what I want you to understand in the state of Texas. Do they have any hunting benefits for disabled veterans in your state? Every state has different requirements. Some don't, but you get the full license, the full combo. You understand? Now, you can hunt them deer. It's hunting and fishing like. You can hunt them wild hogs, and in our state, boy, we got so many wild hogs. There's like an infestation of them feral hogs. You can fish, and this is what I love to do. See, I'm from down here near Galveston. I'm living in Houston, and we used to always go down to the Baytown and different places and we go crabbing, huh? Make a good gumbo. Blue crabs, that's what we call them. That's what we like. Okay, he let us know he say he in Georgia. That's what. Okay, Mr. International. I almost moved to Georgia. My people was up there in Georgia on a plantation in Jackson, Florida, about an hour outside of you ever heard of Jackson, Florida? I mean Jackson, Georgia. It's about an hour outside of Atlanta. Let us know if you know in chat. We was on the Potts plantation. Yes, indeed. That's where my people come from. Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. Now, next one is education. Do they have any educational benefits in your state? In Texas down here, we have something where if you went in from the state of Texas, these are state benefits. This is not at the federal level. This is not part of the VA. This is in addition to it. My daughter can actually use this benefit to go to school in the state of Texas because I'm 100%. But they have it for the veteran. We're going to talk about that in a minute so I ain't confusing. Let's see what OB's saying. Okay, so today, talked to a Vietnam veteran for an hour at a grocery store, and he had the same problem with the same VA years ago. Tell me about it. I remember a lot of Vietnam veterans say they had them issues with them. Let me pull it back up here on the screen. Where y'all at? Y'all see the H-Town vet? I'm hollering at you. Let's continue. Now, so all of us trying to save educate the veteran go to school, the spouse and the children can go to school, but there are age requirements, time limits. All right. What was he talking about there? That veteran was talking about. Now, this is for the state of Texas. What type of state programs do they have in your state if you went in from there, or for you just living in that state? Do they have free tollways or reduced tollways if you're driving, if you're a disabled veteran? Or some things are just for veteran in general? Okay? Let us know in the chat. Now here it is. I'm going to pull this back up full screen. What we were saying before. Give me a second here. What we're saying is the Hazelwood Act. Now, they have 3 parts to the program. For just honorably discharged veterans, a veteran who entered in the military from Texas, if they come back home to Texas, they get 150 credit hours for college. But it has to be a public school, not a private college. Okay? Now, if you don't want to use yours, or you've used some of them as a veteran, your 150 credit hours, guess what? You can do the legacy program where you give one of your children the remaining hours you got. If you got 150, you can give them all to them, but they got to be one of your dependents. Now, once a veteran is 100% permanent in total, now let me say that I'm wrong. Once a veteran is 100%, or any type of 100%, individual unemployability, TDIU, or 100% permanent total, each dependent get their own 150 credit hours. No. I'm wrong with that. Now let me correct that. I forgot what the requirement. I think you got to be I know you're 100%. I think it's permanent total. I forget. And I did a video on this. I'm sorry. My brain is bad. Tonight, I know if you're 100%, they get their own 150 credit hours. It could be IU, individual unemployability, I think, too. Now, here's the thing. If you're 100% permanent total, they also get the Chapter 35 benefit, meaning that the state program will pay for the schooling. They have to pay for housing, and they have to pay for books. But then they can keep all the rest of the money for themselves to pay for other stuff like the housing with the Chapter 35. All right, off topic, H-Town vet. Are you ready for what's that bird to come through? What is that? No, that's okay. We're talking about that. Yeah. Where did they say it's gonna hit? We can talk about any topic. Ain't no off topic. We're in the right now. What we in? We're in the after party. So you can talk about it, whatever you want to talk to, anything you want to talk about, as long as it ain't out of, out left field. We want to keep it clean because it might be some younger people listening. You understand what I'm saying? We can talk about relationships, but I don't know when this is talking about hitting, where did it say it's going to hit? And what category storm is it right now, John? Let us know that, John Jackson, in the chat. Is it still a category 1, or is it picked up steam? Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Ain't nothing off topic. We can talk about all that. All right. So now that's the. I know Chicago got their own educational program. I think California does too, because a veteran told me. But let me know what you've heard about it, John Jackson, about that storm. Let us know in the chat. Now let's talk about transportation. John, since you here, John, let me get to your next comment. And you getting around Houston, you need to know about this here. And I'm trying to get some of y'all to come here. Mr. International, you might want to come through. Bernie might want to come through. He say, after midnight from the channel 11 says, okay. Supposed to be at 1 o'clock it hits. We're supposed to hit where? Houston? Let me know. Cause I haven't really watched the news like that no more. I shouldn't. God dog. I keep moving this thing. Transportation in the Houston area. This is really for many parts of Texas, but I just cover Houston, my hometown. This downtown Houston 59 freeway, I think it is. Or I-10, that might be no, that's 59. That's right by the basketball stadium, that dome over to the left you see. Uh-huh. It's a lot of construction because they keep fixing roads here. That's one of the downsides. There's a lot of traffic in Houston. Now let's see what our brother Evan Almighty said. H-Town vet, did you get reevaluated after 5 years of disability? Now listen what happened. Let's talk about it. What I did, Evan Almighty, what I did, I'm sorry I turned away from the mic for a minute because I'm about to give me some water, but I'm going to tell you this here. What I did when I got my IU, which is individual unemployability, which is a temporary 100%, what I did, I waited until they was going to reevaluate me. Every time they came up with a reevaluation date, they kept pushing it. So I got that back in 2010, I want to say. I got the temporary 100% individual unemployability called IU. And then by 2012, 2 years later, because I say they're going to give me one sooner or later, I went on file for a permanent total. So I took the game to them. Let me see. No. Let me see. How did I do that? No, I think I filed it in 2010 to 2014. So right at 2015, that's when it's 5 years. And that's when you get 5 years, they got to give you more than one exam to reduce you. If you got a rating for at least 5 years, and we're going to talk about that. Let's see what he said. It's supposed to be Cat 1 when it hits Category 1. Okay. When it hits land. Okay. We can talk about anything here. My OB says, so is using securing messages on My Healthy Vet a way of getting everything on record? Doc made false notes, did not examine or treat ignored symptoms, complaints, obvious physical impairments. Yes or no? Now, what go back to some of the live stream in the chat. Remember, Yandel put all that information on the last live stream, I believe it was, where you can refute your notes, you can rebuke the notes if they're not correct. Now let's see what Mr. International says. So yes, you can fight. Go in there and say you can get a correction on your medical records. Look for the patient advocate, okay, my OB, to tell them what's going on. If that doctor ain't doing right, get another doctor. Request another doctor. Let's see what he said. Did you know the VA improperly gave 61% of veterans PT between October 2017 and December 31st, 2019. Well, that some of that mean cap to me because the same people call people in that had a permanent total rating when they shouldn't be called in. So I heard about that. They giving veterans a permanent total when they shouldn't, but they evaluating them when they supposed to have it, and they shouldn't be called in for evaluation. So they kind of they all over the place. So I don't know what to say about that. I don't trust nothing to come out of that. You get a patient advocate. Say, Yandel. It's Yandel. YIN. And thank you. And yeah. Oh, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Boy, this thing getting on my nerve. Let's see, we almost done with this video. All right, let's see. You're welcome, my brother. You welcome. That's what we here to help each other. You understand? Now, also, I don't know if you know this, John Jackson. All at Metro, you can get that Metro Veteran Pass, and you can ride on the light rail. You can ride on the buses. You can ride on the lift thing. You can ride all that if you're 50% rating, and you don't have to pay nothing. All you need is that card. You about to see it in a second here. Let's see. That's true. The claim accuracy is 28%. Yeah, that sounds right. See that card right there? Whoever's in the Houston area, the Metro card, I got that. All right, there it is right there. Metro Veteran Pass. And that's good. You can park downtown, because in almost all y'all cities, y'all may not know that, but you can park for a certain amount of time and metered parking. I don't know if y'all know that. Does the VA give partial ratings, or do they wait until all examinations and evidence is collected? If it's on one claim, I don't want to say they don't, because it's possible, but they usually try to give it all at one time. Because I kind of have a memory of them doing, but that seems to be extremely rare if they do it at all. Anybody know anything in the chat? Let us know. That's the light rail here in Houston, that bus right there. And it goes through downtown in certain areas. Don't go too far. And that's the bus system. I grew up riding Metro bus. We used to go to the Majestic Theater downtown Houston when Houston was just all dirty and hulled out. That's the application, John, and whoever else in the Houston area, and for the Veteran Pass. You can go downtown. You can pull it. You want to go downtown? I forget that street right over there, where they got the headquarters thing at. They got the information there. You can go down there. You can fill out, take your award letter once you're 50%, and they'll take care of that. Yeah, you go through Metro to get the pass. Have your award letter and proper ID, and they're gonna take care of that for you. Now, driver's license, you also get. What about in y'all state? Do they give veterans, disabled veteran license plate? I mean, driver's license for free? They do it here in Texas at 60%. Now let's see what our brother Mr. International is saying here. Do you feel veterans should go to the BAV for an appeal, or try to win their claims at the VAB? Okay, so y'all understand what we're talking about. Board of Veteran Appeals. So let's say they get denied. Should they stay at the regional office, which is the VAB, which we usually just call the VA, or should they go to the BVA, which is the Board of Veteran Appeals? In my opinion, that if you get denied at the regional office level, you should request, which I did, which is a decision review officer at the regional office, because appeals are sometimes taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And if you want to get it done, I know you would love the back pay, but you might be concerned about your immediate situation. So a decision review officer, a DRO, can decide your claim if you got all that evidence together, and he or she'll find any errors in that decision. And this is a higher person in the VA. They tend to be more experienced, and they being more of a claims expert. A lot of times, the regular claims person you might have 10 people working on that claim. They might pass it around like my ex-girl. You understand? Now, Bet, thank you for the information. So with the disabled veteran plates, is it just one or multiple vehicles? Now in Texas, the first one you get for $3. Okay. The other ones, watch our video, the 20 Texas benefits for disabled veterans and dependents. But the first one, $3. The other one you pay full price for, unless you get specialty plates on the first one. All right, you're gonna have to pay for the specialty thing. If you just get regular disabled veteran plates, now, but that driver's license is free. Make sure, and because when you're a disabled veteran, you may need to get around, and you may need, transportation gonna be really important, and they really veteran friendly. What state you think is the best one when it comes to veteran benefits? Because some people say Florida, some say Cali, and this is what the place look like, John, and whoever else want to know. This is like a copy. You can put your branch of service, and all of them are going to have at the bottom, disabled veterans, U.S. Armed Services. And you can put, DV, or you can get Purple Heart. You don't even have to be a disabled veteran. If you're Purple Heart, you can get place too. If you're a prisoner of foreign war, you can get the place too. Most of the benefits come in Texas, though. Now let's see what our brother Angel is saying. If you have multiple conditions on a claim, the VA can decide and notify some and defer the rest until defer. Okay, yes, that is true. That's what I forgot. I forgot that. If you have multiple conditions on a claim, the VA can decide and notify, meaning they'll notify you decision on some of them and defer the rest of them. They'll finalize, so they might do them later. Yeah, they might approve or deny some of them right off the bat. That's right. He said, thank you, Angel. Real talk. See, I hadn't done it so long, I forgot. I kind of remembered it, but that's why we're here to keep each other in the game. You got to be 50% to have them disabled veteran plates in Texas. Do y'all have disabled veteran plates? Now, it used to be you could use them DV plates alone to park in handicap parking, but about 2022, they changed the law. Now you need that handicap placard. And you can park, let me know if y'all knew this here. You can park in metered parking here in Texas. It used to be all day in downtown area. You can park for 3 hours with DV tags. How about your state? Find out when you're downtown, do they allow disabled veterans? Because a lot of people don't know that. Let's see what he's saying here. I've seen them. If you get the wheelchair, they will take off the award or branch. Yeah, it can't fit all on the, all that can't fit on the license plate. You're right. He said, thanks, Angel. See how we look out for each other? That's why we need this feedback. Eventually, I'm gonna get it where everybody, we can start pulling people up on the live stream and we can start talking to each other. I can see y'all face and we can talk like that. Now, so let's see what we got. Let me see how I can pull it up better than this here. Remember about parking down there? And here in Houston, we got these tollways. We got a whole bunch of toll. They keep making new ones. And you can we got the Fort Bend toll, West Park toll, Hardy toll, Grand Parkway, Sam Houston. And you can ride all of them for free if you got those DV tags. Yeah, I put myself small. Look how big these tollways are in Texas. At the bottom left-hand corner, right-hand corner, you see the Easy Tag store, and they give you these transponders right there where you can actually ride on there too. Sometimes you got to be slick. They'll use just your plates. If you put that transponder on there, they might start charging you if you don't get it registered. You got to get it registered. I learned that the hard way. Let's see what he said. Right, they changed the law. They sure did, John Jackson. It's all depends on the veteran and family needs. Some veterans have young children, so the educational states may be best for them. Now that's true. Others may be property tax. Now you know what? That's the key thing. A veteran moved to the state that's more suitable for them. Well, if they have dependents, they may want to move to the state that give a lot of educational benefits and other things to dependents. If it's just them and their children are older or grown, they may want to move where it's more property tax friendly or hunting friendly. In Texas, they got all that, Angel. So you need to come on down here, boy. Have you down there with us? Now let's see. Now, Houston has the largest medical center in the United States. So another thing is healthcare. We have several clinics. We have a clinic in Beaumont, Tomball, I believe. We got one in Richmond, Sugarland. I'm near both of those. Sugarland, Texas, that is. That's where they make Imperial sugar. He said, I think he's saying Florida also. Okay. Yeah, Florida is a good state for benefits. I did say that. Now, so that's why I want y'all to, here's the Houston Medical Center. That's how big it is. You're like, where's the medical center? Yeah. And the VA here is in the medical center. It is huge. It's right over there by the Herman Park. You know, it's Bentub and different ones. They got the top cancer center and all type of things like that. Joe Biden's son came over here. Now, story time. When I was in the reserves, we used to be able to ride the tolls for free. Okay. We just had to fill out a sheet at the toll booth. Didn't know that. Used to. It pissed me off. Those pay tolls lifts. I don't like those lifts. That's irritating. Now they use those transponders that I showed you. He said, but Texas has the best brisket in the world, of course. It's stop someday and I'll stop someday and we'll go out for my treat. Okay. You come through, you need to let me know, Angel. Because we can go somewhere, see where you want to go to eat. I ain't got no problem. I might treat you since you're riding all the way down here. But if you choose to do that, that ain't no problem, brother. Respect. We get together, two veterans talking. You understand? Thank you, Angel. That's the medical center. That's the thing that you saw in the picture when I first started in my thumbnail. This is it, but it looks different at night. This is how they get to the different medical buildings. And they had this little circular thing that they get to. That's what it looks different at night. Low lies, sorry. I don't know what that means. What that mean? All right, let us continue. Now, benefit dealing with housing. Remember, we talked about them property tax and all that. You can get house loans and all that. They offer home loans with the Texas Veteran Land Board. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something about Houston. He said, I want to go laugh out loud. I hear you. You welcome to, brother. We could all meet up. That ain't no problem. Now, you might know this, John, being from the Houston area. A lot of people don't realize when people say they're from Houston, they're not actually from Houston. If you see those circles around Houston, I actually grew up in the smaller one, right in the middle of downtown Houston. Most people come from the suburbs outside of Houston, such as Baytown, Pasadena, Kingwood. You remember I think the Woodlands. Remember that guy from what was that show called? Something Theory, Big Bang Theory. He's from, I think, either Kingwood or the Woodlands. I think he's from Kingwood. Yeah, he grew up there. That's kind of a suburb of Houston. That's outside the Houston city limits. The singer Gary Busey, he kind of grew up part of the time in Baytown. Gary Busey, yeah. You had a lot of people from around this area, believe it or not. Now, we're gonna get ready. Let me see. I'm finishing this up. It's talking about. Now I'm gonna explain the housing. This is the kind of houses I grew up in. You got different type of housing in Houston. Traditional houses, it used to be wood homes. A lot of our family, they built. Now look what he said. He grew up near Northwest Mall, Northline Mall. Northline Mall ain't too far from there. You came over there, I think Cross Timbers run across the back. What is that? What is that road running in front of it? Airline, what's that road running in front of it? We used to go to Northwest Mall. I don't know how old you are. They used to have a movie over there. Northwest, Northline Mall, I mean. It on the other side, it's down from you can go to the what's you call this here? Not it's on the other side of 610 was the farmers market. I used to catch the bus to Northline Mall when I was young. But I grew up in Fifth Ward, John Jackson. Lockwood, Liberty Road. You hear what I'm saying? Right down. Now you grew up in Houston. Now, this is the gentrified area near downtown. What they're doing, they're building all these little things, even over in Fifth Ward. This is right by downtown, as you can see. And I know they're gentrifying your areas. How are y'all dealing with the fact that the housing prices? Who's trying to buy a home right now? Everybody, y'all gonna probably be quiet on that one. And then you have the suburban areas. I kind of live in the suburban areas. Now, no hidden fees. If you get a VA home loan or you dealing with when you get a house, you got to worry about maintaining. Who would rather live in a condo? Who would rather live in something where they ain't got to put no roofs on no house? Now, John Jack say, when I say I used to check people that said they were from Houston, I know what you meant. That's what I meant. I knew that's what you meant. I would ask people where they're from, because a lot of people, y'all don't understand. They'll say they're from Houston, but they're not actually from Houston. They from Pasadena. They from Missouri City, but they're not actually from Houston. And a lot of times, I talk to a lot of guys, John, because a lot of people don't realize that most of the people that live actually in Houston were black. Some Hispanics, and the white people that live here were mainly rich white people living in River Oaks or near Rice Village. Am I right? Or Bel Air. So either poor black people or wealthy white people, because many of the slaves, people don't realize, many of the slaves that were here were not picking cotton. Half of them were house servants. Matter of fact, my aunt, she used to be a servant, not as a slave, but as a domestic worker for the people right next door to the Bushes. They act like George Bush, the son, he grew up in the country. No, he grew up in River Oaks. My aunt used to carpool when he was a little boy and take him places. Matter of fact, when we was young, we went over to one of them rich people's house and they let us play in the pool. We went from the ghetto, living large. That's over there where that guy Joel Osteen had that big church over there. He lived in one of them in River Oaks somewhere over there in one of them multi-million-dollar mansions. Now, you don't just worry about the insurance on the house. You got to pay dues. You got to pay property tax. But if you come to Texas, tell me what other state have totally exemption on property tax. Let us know. We're going to get ready to close out in a second. We're almost done. Who got total exemption on property tax? Bam, in Texas, if you're 100% 100% at the 100% rate, you can get total exemption. You don't have to pay no property tax. That's good. Now, the last thing we're going to say is the bonus. National parks. This affects all of y'all. All veterans. You get that access card right there if you're 100%, or you can get it for Social Security too. National parks. Yellowstone. Look at that big old, isn't that beautiful? I love to go there. Isn't that nice? The Grand Canyon. I would love to go where that is. San Antonio. If you come down into Texas, they got you haven't. They I know they got the Alamo. Who's been to the Alamo before? They got the Riverwalk. They got plenty of food. I see all them colorful what do you call those things? Umbrellas. I've been there. It's nice. Ate some of that good food over there, especially that good Mexican food. We call it Mexican food. That's how we say it down here in Texas. Now they have these missions that's been there since I think the 15 or 1600s. When the Spanish came here, they're still there. They're a national, it's like a park, but a thing there. If you go to San Antonio, that's why you need, as a 100% disabled veteran, or if you're getting your Social Security, you're told disabled Social Security, you need to get your access pass to go to all national parks throughout Texas, throughout the United States. Big Bend National Park, close to El Paso. Isn't that beautiful? That's desert. Half of Texas is desert. Look how beautiful that is. That's in Big Bend. You ain't got to go to the Grand Canyon. And we got them steers, them big old cows. Thank y'all. Now we're going to do our final shout outs. I want to thank y'all for joining us. Any last words? Let everybody know thanks. We appreciate you, the information that you put out. And we appreciate y'all taking time out of your day to come spend time here at the H-Town Vet. If y'all learn anything new about a veteran benefits, something that can help us, we're going to have our live streams on Sundays and Thursdays at around 7 p.m. Close to it, okay? Between 6 and 7:30. So keep us informed of anything new, and I'm going to do my best to do the same. And let's see what our brothers say. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed you too, my brother. I want to give a shout out to Angel. Some of you may not be here anymore. Brother Lyons here. Major Boomer, his name. John Jackson, thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to donate, like I said, let me pull this here. There go our Cash App right there. That thing keep moving on me. All right. We want to give a shout out to, like I say, Angel already. Mao B. Want to thank Mr. International if you're still here. Bernie, thank you. We want to give a shout out to Military Mike, Evan Almighty, Georgia Boy 78. Think about all the stuff dealing with the burn pits and the chemical jet fuel exposure. Because that was something new that I didn't know about. Kevin, thank you, Kevin. Okay, Mad 100 Kid, thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to get ready to wrap it up. Any final statements? Any final comments? And I want to say one thing to y'all. That I really mean this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want y'all to have a good night. We're going to get ready to conclude this live stream where we talked about fiduciaries. You go back over, you want to watch it if you missed some parts of it. Beneficiaries. And if the VA puts somebody over your VA disability compensation, what your options are. Thank you for joining us on this live stream, and we would like to say good night.